I recently came across that idea that we as human beings are all just children inside living in our adult bodies. Or in other words, that growing up does not mean we are leaving our inner child behind. And this might fundamentally change how you see the world. Now, if you're open for this idea, then in today's video I would like to invite you to a quick mind experiment where we explore this idea together. Welcome to today's episode. My name is Robert, and this video is based on my own thoughts and therapy experiences. If you are looking for a more in-depth approach and resources for working through the symptoms of complex trauma, I also share the most significant learnings and practical exercises from years of therapy in our premium community and online courses. Get access at understandable.net/join. And now let's do this mind experiment together. Let's assume that it's true for a moment that we all never actually grew up, operating as children with patterns that we've learned in our childhood and just try to run this world in our aged bodies. How would that change your perception of the world? How would this change your perception of your partner, of your own maybe already grown-up children, of your friends, of other people in general? And most of all, how would that change your perception of yourself? Now, adopt this view for a moment. If this view may be true, what light does this shed on past and current conflicts or disputes in your life? If there are just two little children fighting for their needs, just two little children who are hurt and in pain, want to be seen, want to be heard, and want to be loved. And what light does this shed on behaviors of loving, of excited or happy attitude? If there are just two children who truly want to be happy, want genuine connection, have fun and express themselves, just out of their true soul, just out of the pure essence of love, happiness and excitement. Their deep emotions, their honest needs, their uncompromising boundaries, their authentic selves, coming together in the melting pot of interhuman connection and interaction. Would that change your view on the world that you have right now? If they're just two small children instead of two big adults, if we now truly and deeply adopt this perspective that we are all just small children running around in those adult bodies, having all those wounds from the past and our hearts full of love, trying to get our needs met, trying to be loved, isn't that creating a ton of compassion for yourself as well? Can you feel this compassion right now if you truly adopt this view? Can you feel it for your partner, for other people? Well, do you see that there is this tiny soul that is just craving for love, for attention, for validation so much? When I think like this, it often really softens my heart and I understand myself. I understand the triggers of my partner or the needs of other people in a very different way. I intuitively see what I and others need and why we cope and behave in certain ways. It's like removing a gray veil from my eyes, creating a lot of clarity. When I think like this, I always also remember the 4 needs of every child. Dr. Gabor Mate, for example, explains in his book, The Myth of Normal, which is the first need, the attachment relationship, so the need for contact and connection in every child. The second need, a sense of attachment security, so the right to rest from the work of earning the right to be who she or he is. The third need, permission to feel one's emotions, especially the full spectrum of emotions. And the fourth need of every child, the experience of free play, to show excitement and happiness in any form. Now, when we think about those needs, we may remind ourselves that these are still valid, even if our bodies became older, even if we now run around in those adult-aged bodies. We still need those things and wish them to be fulfilled because, after all, we're all just children inside of those adult bodies. And a last question I would like to propose in this mind experiment is, if we would see us all as children in adult bodies, would that actually change how we treat ourselves and others? Or would that just be an anarchic world where everyone would just try to get their own needs met in an egoistic way, not showing consideration and love and appreciation for others? Now let's end this mind experiment and get back to how children and adults are in our current reality. I mean, in reality, children can also be brutal. We all know that. They cry loud when their needs haven't been met. At the same time, they also try to do everything they can to get their needs met. No compromises. Even if they sometimes feel at the mercy of their caregivers, for example, they still try everything that's possible, nevertheless, if that's hurting others or even themselves, to get their needs met. Still, children as we know them besides this mind experiment are just children. And we as adults, if we work through our own bullshit and our own learned stuff, we learn to re-regulate and to take care of ourselves. And we should not take things children do personally. No, we as adults, we can see past what children do to us. And if they are brutal, for example, as adults, we usually calm them down and love them because they're just small children in our current reality. And maybe this is what we forget sometimes, that we once have been those small children and that they are still somewhere within us. So there may be a spark of truth in the idea that we are all just children in those adult bodies. So remind yourself to sometimes take care and offer compassion for this inner child within you, your loved ones, and other people. What do you think about this idea? Did we never actually grow up? Let me know in the comments how you like this mind experiment. And if you want to support this podcast, leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I see you in the next episode here on the channel. Have a great day.